Lurking in the dark, the real entity behind sleep paralysis. You wake up, but you can't move. You try to scream, but no sound escapes. A crushing pressure pins your chest, and just beyond the edge of your vision, something watches. A shadow with eyes darker than the night, closer than your breath. Is it just a nightmare? Or is it something else? Something ancient, intelligent, and terrifyingly real? Across centuries, cultures, and continents, millions have reported eerily similar encounters during episodes of sleep paralysis. Science explains it one way. Survivors describe something much darker. This is not just a sleep disorder. This is an encounter with the real entity behind sleep paralysis. Something that might not be a dream at all. Introduction. What if the night has a face? Most people experience it at least once in their lifetime. You drift off peacefully, only to awaken to a nightmare you can't escape. You're awake, but not fully. You can see, but you can't move. And worse, you're not alone. A tall figure at the foot of the bed, a whisper in your ear, a creature sitting on your chest, draining the air from your lungs. You try to scream, but your voice is paralyzed too. This isn't new. It's one of the oldest shared human experiences on record. From ancient demons to shadow people, sleep paralysis has inspired folklore and fear since the dawn of human storytelling. But why do these visions feel so real? Why do so many people across the globe describe the same entity? And what if, just what if, it isn't a hallucination at all? The science of terror. To understand sleep paralysis, we must start with the brain. Normally, when we fall asleep, we enter REM, rapid eye movement sleep, the stage associated with vivid dreams. During REM, the brain paralyzes your muscles to keep you from acting out your dreams. It's a defense mechanism. But sometimes something goes wrong. In a sleep paralysis episode, the brain wakes up, but the body remains frozen. You're stuck in a terrifying middle state, aware, alert, but completely paralyzed. And here's where it gets horrifying. Because in this paralyzed state, your brain is still dreaming. Only now, you're seeing those hallucinations overlaid onto your real environment. That's why so many people see shadows and figures and hear whispers in their actual bedrooms. Science calls it a trick of the mind. But many victims aren't convinced. Why are the visions so consistent across cultures? Why do people see the same figure, hear the same growling, and feel the same suffocating weight? Even more chilling, why does this entity often return again and again? The shadow that stalks cultures. Sleep paralysis is universal, but what people see during these episodes varies in name, not in form. In Japan, it's called kanashibari, the state of being bound by metal. Victims describe a dark spirit pressing down on them. It's often linked with vengeful ghosts. In Nigeria, it's known as the devil on your back. Victims see red eyes in the dark, and some claim these episodes follow them for years, always at night, always accompanied by whispers in a language they don't understand. The moment passes, but the fear never leaves. Is this a coincidence or something far more sinister? Part 3. The Hat Man, shared nightmare or real entity. One of the most consistent figures reported in sleep paralysis episodes is the Hat Man. He is tall, impossibly tall. He wears a long coat or cloak. He has no facial features, just a black void where his face should be. And he wears a fedora, or wide-brimmed hat. Thousands of people, many unaware of each other, have reported seeing this exact entity. And he doesn't just appear once. For some, he comes again and again, standing in the doorway, sometimes leaning over them as they sleep. Some report waking with scratches on their body. Others say he whispers things in their ears. Threats, commands, or warnings. A few claim that once the Hat Man appeared, their lives began to spiral. Sudden depression, nightmares, and illnesses in the family. They don't just feel haunted, they feel hunted. Skeptics say it's a cultural suggestion, a viral archetype, shared through modern media. But here's the problem. Reports of the Hat Man predate the internet. Before the memes, before the forums, people were seeing him, writing about him, fearing him. Which begs the question, what is he? The entity theory, not just in your head. There is a growing belief among researchers in the paranormal and even some fringe neuroscientists that sleep paralysis may not be purely internal. Some theorize that this state of paralysis, a halfway point between sleep and consciousness, might tune the brain to another frequency, allowing the sleeper to perceive things normally invisible. Like a radio dial between stations, sleep paralysis could be exposing us to entities from another layer of reality. They're always there. We just don't see them. Except sometimes, we do. Supporters of this theory point to eerie consistencies. The same locations, doorways, corners of rooms, the same sensory phenomena, pressure, whispers, temperature drops. The same emotional response, intense, unnatural fear. This isn't just fear of being trapped. It's a fear that feels external, like it's being injected into you. Some survivors even claim that prayers or religious symbols have driven the entity away, despite being paralyzed. Others say the presence flees at dawn, as if tied to darkness itself. What kind of brain disorder responds to holy water? Survivors' accounts, true terror from the paralyzed. Here are just a few chilling first-hand testimonies from victims of sleep paralysis and encounters with the entity. He was standing in the doorway, just watching. I could feel his hate, like it was being poured into me. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was dying. She sat on my chest and whispered in a language I'd never heard. My heart felt like it stopped. When I finally woke up, I had 3 long scratches across my stomach. And many say the same thing. Once you see it, it comes back. Part 6. So what can you do? If you've experienced sleep paralysis, or fear you might, it's important to understand 2 things. Science can explain the mechanism, a misfire in REM sleep mixed with vivid hallucinations, but science cannot explain the entity. To protect yourself, many recommend the following. Sleep regularly and avoid high-stress environments. Don't sleep on your back, the most common position for episodes. Practice grounding techniques to reorient your mind if an episode starts. Use spiritual tools if you're inclined. Prayers, symbols, or protective rituals. But above all, don't open your eyes if you wake up and can't move, because sometimes the thing in the room with you isn't your imagination. Conclusion, the thing in the corner is still there. You can call it a dream. You can call it science. But if you've ever felt that thing in the room with you, that pressure, that presence, that paralysis, then you know this feels bigger than sleep. It feels ancient, intelligent, malevolent, a shadow lurking in the corner of human consciousness since the dawn of time. So the next time you wake up and can't move, and you feel eyes on you in the dark, just remember, you're not crazy, you're not alone, and it's still watching. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe for more real horror tales, and let us know in the comments.